There's a lot of thought behind a person being a born loser becoming who I am today. You don't just wake up and just rocky till you gotta wake and think about, there's a process to getting better, and that process is never finished. Like a lot of times, if your back is hurting, it may not be your back. It may be something else in your body that's making your back hurt. For me, I'm like, man, why can't I get past this hurdle? So, like I said, I'm always examining myself every day. What is it? What is it? Well, there's only one thing you haven't examined yet, and it's going back to the beast, going back to the demon. All times that I was like, I'm not going back, and I went back. I'm not going back, and I went back. It showed me even more of what we have as humans if we're willing to go there and we're willing to push that extra step. A lot of people, man, how do you do what you do? At the end of the day, I asked myself one question. Can I take one more step? And usually the answer is yes. So if you can answer that question and not take another step, that is real failure. That is real quitting. So a lot of people can take one more step, but they choose not to. I don't know if you can take 2 steps. You got to answer that question after you take the first step, but I can always take one more step. So if I choose not to, that's on me. And I got to live with that. I had just climbed a mental wall. That was amazing. And I didn't want anybody to take that pain away from me at that point, because that was all confirmation. So for me, this was the new level. You don't need a lot of things. Sometimes only thing that kept me with that one step forward was one thing. Let's not quit yet, God. Because let's think about your options. Where are you going to end up if you quit this? Where are you going to go? And when I got done with that race, it's the worst pain. I can't even describe the pain of that last 30 miles to anybody. No one. It's very hard. So when it ended, and I'm laying there in the worst pain of my entire life, I'm shaking. I'm jacked up. And all I could think about was, I can't believe what I had just done. To me, it was humanly impossible to even think about going 30 more miles in that shape. And once you do it, what came over me when that shower hit me, and the reality hit that I just went 101 miles, and that last 31 miles was something that I can't even describe to people. And what's amazing about the human mind is that it becomes your new norm. Like to think that I can run 240 meters, and that becomes like running 50. I never thought that was possible. This is why I'm always pushing that limit, because I know that within pushing these limits, there's always more. Did that set the tone or the rhythm for what you wanted to try and achieve and feel again? Each time you're pushing further. I never wanted to feel it again. I never want to feel it again. But what it did was, it showed me what is possible. And that's what set the new stage for me. That's when I realized, oh man, I've really been underachieving my entire life. But it taught me what is possible. It taught me like, okay, I got it, check. I'm about action. And action means less talking and more doing. So that's where I've been. It only takes 1 second for you to lose the whole thing. So the 1 second decision is just that you're in a situation where life is sucking. Let's say you're in extreme cold water, and your life is flashing before your eyes. Every time that wave goes over your head, your thought process is, I gotta get thee out of this water, and you're in hell week in your hour 1 of 130 hours. It's cold. I can't be cold this long. And then this is where that 1 second decision comes in. You forgot every reason why you wanted to be there. You don't care about SEALs. You don't care about any of this. You don't care about fighting for your country. All you want to do is go back home. You want the warmth. You may want something to eat. All those things of comfort are there in that 1 second. And this is where people lose. So what I do in that 1 second, because we all think about quitting when it's hard. But what you have to do in that 1 second, it's hard to process information during pain, because that pain takes over and you can't think rationally. You're thinking about fight or flight. Save yourself. That's not a rational thought. It's not a thought that's going to get you through hard times. Most people fail that 1 second. So what happens? What I do, I start thinking logically. I calm my brain down, because your brain just wants to get thee out. It's about gaining control of your mind, putting things back in the proper perspective, and then saying, I really do want to be here. and I'm going to have a bunch of these 1 seconds. And I have to learn to control these, because if I fail one of these 1 seconds, I will not be a SEAL. I will not be a doctor, I will not be a lawyer, or not be whatever it is. So that's how important that 1 second decision is. It's all about your mind. It takes control of you. You have to say, I run this. There's no other way to make it out here. I mean, you can't just always be, head down in the sand. You got to learn to pick yourself up on your own. A lot of times, these fights and these battles, you got to be your own coach. You got to be your own motivator, because there's a lot of people in this world who don't want to see you make it because they think you can take a piece of their pie. But I've learned to study people before I react. Because there's no successful person in the world who's in a good head space that's going to ever attack anyone in that kind of manner. There's always going to be something wrong with them. So you got to always dive a little deeper before you get your feelings hurt. Take time. Take that 1 second to pull back and study them. Because most people who are in good places, they don't care about what you're doing. They don't care about what you're doing. They don't try to destroy you. They actually will try to build you up versus destroy who you are as a person. So that's where I'm at now in life, is most people who do that, they're in a very dark, dark place. As you get bigger, as you get more successful, you open the door for people to critique everything you do. And most of the people who are critiquing you usually aren't where you are. And all the critiquing comes from people who are really at a low level of life, which is sad. But what we do, people who are on the upper level, hearing the haters at the lower level, like I said, you'll never meet a hater doing better than you. True statement. So I started making these mixtape with all of these hate messages about people talking, and it became such a source of fuel that it was amazing, because I know why you hate me. You hate me because you're probably in the bed right now. You're probably an underachiever. You're probably somebody who doesn't want to do anything with your life. So I make you question everything about yourself. So I'm going to continue making you question yourself by coming out here and being even more successful. So what happens is there's days where I'm like, you know what? I really don't want to do this today. And I'm like, oh, hang on. So I listen to that where I run. I sometimes play it in the house. It's half comical, it's half inspiring. I'm actually inspired by it because I know I'm going to get hit in the mouth. There's an art to getting hit in the mouth. And that is why these things are important. You have to wake up and you have to give yourself belief. You have to give yourself confidence so that it starts with that run. Belief is like there's an after-school special belief where the mom says, believe in yourself, and that's all great, but there's also a built belief. How I build belief is through the daunting tasks I put myself through. So that's proof positive that I can. You don't become confident by shouting affirmations in the mirror, but by having a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. Outwork your self-doubt. Yes, because a lot of people, they say when you wake up in the morning, pound your chest, look at yourself in the mirror, and do all this. I hope it works. What works for me is that everyday resume. The things I know I've accomplished, the thing I know I've done, real hard work, the real calluses on my mind, the real calluses on my hands. That's it. You must build belief. You must build confidence and say, I can knock that out. Instead of the path of least resistance, I started choosing the path of most resistance to prepare myself for the journey that was coming my way. And you realize through hard work, you can outwork anybody, no matter how badass they are. It starts with yourself, man. You got to start diving into those things that you're afraid of. You don't gain confidence by going to the spot that makes you feel good. This could be a false reality. In the second life, gives you that challenge. All you want to do is go back to what gave you confidence, is that happy spot. No. What gave me confidence was spending years at a kitchen table trying to learn how to read and write on my own, realizing I can't learn the way you learn. I can't, but I can learn. What gives you confidence, not being afraid, is overcoming the fear. That's what gives me confidence, is facing these things, overcoming them. And maybe not overcoming them every day, but face them and face them and face them. Pretty soon, like this, you know what, man? This is where it's at. It's not in that comfort zone. It's in the discomfort zone is where my confidence is getting built. That's where it's getting built. happiness, peace, enlightenment. It's all up here, man. It's all up here. You just got to be willing to go and face it, and that's the hard part. The physical standard is not what they need to meet. It's a mental standard you must meet in life. That's how I live my life. I now know that there is no cap on the human mind. There's no cap. We cap it ourselves. When most people quit, I had just started. And when you take that mindset and you learn to flip that around, that's what made me powerful, and my body followed. And so I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give myself a challenge every single day until the fear goes away. That's right. And I feel like that's what more of us should be doing. I'm hearing that that's how you live your life. That's all it is, man. And it helps me feel so much more confident when you overcome that fear of saying this doesn't have control over me anymore. That's right. It's like you can be so much more at peace. A lot of us speak in hollow words. I used to speak in hollow words. I don't do it anymore. Everything that comes in my mouth has substance. It's real. We all have these feelings in our bodies, in our minds, in our souls. I act on mine. A lot of us who are afraid of something, we allow our minds to choose the path of least resistance. So we go a different route. When I'm afraid of something, it's telling me you must do that. Life is one big mind game, and you're playing it with yourself. You cannot lose perspective of where you've come in life. I'm trying to give people a different thought process of life, where failure, disappointment, discomfort is a great learning tool. And many people don't understand that, but it's these few moments in life that you have. Like for me, I always talk about it. Rocky won round 14. That 2-minute and 13-second clip of Rocky getting up when Apollo knocked him down. That one clip when I was going through a very bad time in my life, I saw what I wanted to be. And it wasn't a guy that won. It wasn't a guy that won everything he did. It was a guy that kept getting up after being knocked down. So I realized if that 2 minutes and 13 seconds changed my life. So I saw something that I needed to be in the world I was living in. Maybe my story will give someone the 2 minutes and 13 seconds they need to change their life. Everybody's got a story. We don't share it on social media. We share our nice life on social media. We all have a dungeon. I'm just willing to talk about mine. Mental toughness isn't something that you sample. It's something that you live in every day. Whenever hardness comes, and you don't know what it is, it may be different for you than it is for me. But you go back to your insecurities. And then when you go back to the insecurities, you then look for comfort within those insecurities. And we all look for that cookie that your mom used to give you when you were sad, when you were sick. We look for our wife or our husband. We look for comfort. It's in those moments you must retrain your mind to think differently in hell. The mental standard is you must know how far you've come. I walk in the room now and I know the hours and years and decades I put into David Goggins. That's something. It's not on the wall. It's not a trophy on the wall. It's not a mail around your neck. I don't care how you perceive David Goggins. Because through my journey, I figured out the one piece I was missing. I thought it was cars. I thought it was women. I thought it was money. I thought it was everything. The one piece I was missing was me having the courage to face myself. Where I got my work ethic from was the hours I had to spend learning this. When you sit down and you're not smart and you have a disability. Yeah, and you still want to be in the top of your class. I didn't want to just get by. When I realized that I can learn through hard work and I can beat the valedictorian of school, but I got put in 10 hours more a day than he does. You know what kind of strength comes from that when you're sitting down and that guy that vow to study for an hour and, I caught you, I have the work ethic to catch you. That's where David Goggins got really invented. Yeah, was at a kitchen table with 20 spiral notebooks that were empty and then they were full. And when you can go through that, I still have them in my storage unit. You go through these spiral notebooks of your life and you realize this is how I learned. This is unbelievable. It wasn't until I got real sick and my life got real quiet. I went from running 205 miles in 39 hours till I couldn't get out of bed. My life was taken from me. And that's when I realized I hadn't taken time to think about what I had done in my life. I'd done all these things, but there was no finish line. I finished a race of life and I wouldn't even receive my medal. I go on. I get in the car and I go. When I started figuring out life that I was leaving so much in the tank once I realized, my God, man, I was this dumb fat kid being bullied, and now I'm a 180-pound person, lost 106 pounds in less than 3 months. Learn to read, learn to do this, learn to do that. I was like, I need more. I was fueling my mind with everything. I never took time to say, my God, you came from this hell and you're here. I had come 8,000 miles from where I started, but if you never know that, you're still in a $7 a month place. So, it's that quiet place. It's that place by yourself. It's those hours and years and decades by yourself in the grip of life. When life has you by the throat and choking you out, and you're sitting there calm because you're trying to figure it out. You're not panicking, you're not quitting, you're not throwing the towel. You're saying there's a way around this. And when you figure it out, when life has you gripped in advice and you can figure that out, that's when you overcome. That's when you overcome. The journey getting there was harder than going through it. Yeah, so that's the whole thing about life, man. It's that journey that makes you who you are.